Hello, survivors. Welcome to the State of Decay 2 stream. I'm your host, Geoffrey Card, and I'm sitting here in a completely fictional location with our new green screen, ready to do one of our more exciting streams that we've done recently. We've got a new update to the game that's coming in. It's called the Anniversary Update, and it's got a bounty pack, it's got a bunch of gameplay improvements, and here to talk about it with us, that's not Ken George. Ken, why don't you say something?
Hello. I'm Ken George. That's not Ken George.
This is Ken George.
Me.
So Ken George is a programmer. Those of you who watched our stream about the outfits update would have met Ken already. He was the programmer behind that feature, and he's a programmer behind some of our more exciting gameplay features that we're introducing today. So we're glad that we have Ken here. We also have Brant. Hey, Brant.
Hello.
That's Brant. Brant also worked on today's update because we have got some new weapons for you. We got some new outfits. You got a little bit of a hint of what weapon we might be showing off today by the title that I've given Brant. But before, actually, you know what? Before we get to things, let's quickly look at, let's look at a summary of what we're going to be doing. So, okay, first off, this is the anniversary update. The main thing that we're getting today is an anniversary pack full of new outfits and toys. This is stuff that's going to be available from the Bounty Broker. It's going to be great. And but when I say we've got it here on the stream today, and it's going to be coming to you soon. Very, very soon. We can't tell you exactly when, but you're going to be able to get this stuff really soon. We're also going to show you, we've got faster reloads, faster refueling, and faster repairs on vehicles. We've got more improvements to Juggernaut combat. We made some improvements last month. We're making some new ones now. We've got some improvements to follower AI in combat. That's the main thing that Ken is here to talk about, because people have been asking for that for a really long time, and we've made some big improvements. We've got some beneficial community morale events, so morale isn't only about punishing you, it's also about rewarding you. And we've made some changes to mission pacing, so it's just a little bit less stressful, and it should be less stressful for us on the stream today. But before we get to any of this stuff, so that's to sort of whet your appetite for what we've got going, we actually want to talk about our contest that we recently ran. So I think that a lot of you might already be aware of this. We ran a contest where people needed to go out and get screenshots of all of the gnomes that Brant has been hiding throughout Providence Ridge. So right here you can see we've got a gnome. It looks like, is that toilet paper on top of the gnome's head? Is that how people are using these garden gnomes in our world, Brant?
Hey, apocalypse gnomes have multiple uses, including being a great toilet paper roll.
So I mean, I imagine if you run out of toilet paper, you could just use the gnome itself. So it's kind of got dual functionalities. But anyway, so there's all these different places where gnomes are hidden. I'm sharing some of the screenshots that people sent to us. There's some gnomes in a doghouse. There's a gnome driving a piece of construction equipment. We've got a gnome, using the outhouse, not just being used in the outhouse. There's all kinds of gnome situations here for us to deal with. And so people who found 7 gnomes and sent us screenshots, basically the first several people who did this, their prize was to get their names added into the game. And so we wanted to sort of highlight those folks and tell them, and announce whose names are getting added into the game. So those are not arriving with this update. This update, it was already in the bag by the time the contest winners happened. So probably sometime next month, we'll get these folks' names into the game. But here are the winners. So first off, we've got Adster1701. Now, one of the rules that we make for our characters' nicknames is that they have to be pronounceable. You have to be able to imagine that the community would actually call the person this thing. And so Adster1701 is a little complicated, so instead we added Adster by itself as a nickname for Adam. And 1701 is on the weird nickname trait. So you might get a character whose name is 1701. We've got Elixiana John. They submitted the name Alexi. So what I did was I added the name Elixiana as a name that characters could have, and then Alexi is the nickname that character will get if they get the first name Elixiana. Junior Valdez was one of our winners and wanted us to put the name Junie into the game. So I actually put both Junie and Junior in as nicknames for people who have the last name Valdez. Harley Hood. So anybody who's got the first name Harley or the last name Hood could be called Harley Hood by their community. Mike H. Gave us the name Gnome. And so because Nome is a city in Alaska, I figured that we would have people who are from Alaska, ice road truckers, women who were named Alaska, could all use the nickname Gnome. And I also, yeah, and so that was just basically anyone having to do with Alaska and anyone having to do with ice can have the nickname Gnome. SiimpsonHDZ was one of the more complicated ones. So I threw Simpson with 2 I's into the weird nickname trait, and then HDZ is now a nickname that you can get if your last name is Simpson. We've got Mikey, who goes by Mousheen with his family, and so I just threw in Mousheen as a possible nickname for Michael, and also so that females could get it too, I made it a nickname for Sheena. Passive Cellular gave us the nickname Big Tonus, and so kind of like how I put the Big Lou's name on characters named Lewis, anyone named Anthony can end up with the name Big Tonus, and also I threw Passive Cellular in there as one of our weird nicknames. Richie Mendez gave us Blizzard Cyclone, which is going to be a weird nickname, and I also made Richie Mendez a nickname for people with the last name Mendez. Robert Flesh Tailor McCathy got some really interesting looks from people at the company when his name showed up. So I made Flesh Tailor a weird nickname that people could have. Also, if your last name is Taylor, you can just have the nickname Flesh. And then finally, Mad Mr. Fox was our last winner, and so the nickname Mad Mr. Fox can be in there for anyone whose last name is Fox or anyone whose first name is Dana, because that's Mad Mr. Fox's first name. I hope that was okay for me to share. Anyway, so those are the winners for our Gnome contest, and I appreciate everyone's patience going through that, but that's one of the most fun things for me to do, honestly, is to add people's nicknames into the game. So I really appreciate everybody who participated in the contest. That was a lot of fun. But a lot of you are here to actually see what's going on with the anniversary update. So maybe that is what we should move on to next. So here I am in the game. We are playing a dev build. This is an unreleased build. And the first thing you'll notice is that I've got a completely amazing hat right now. This is not just... I'm not just a rhinestone cowboy right now. I am a...
You're an electric rhinestone cowboy.
I'm an electric rhinestone cowboy. So this is probably my favorite costume that we've got in the game that we've just added. But we have got a bunch of them. So I'm going to bring up my patch notes here just to make sure I know what I'm talking about. But let's have a look at the costumes we've got. So first off, we've got this right here. This is a hoodie that's got the lovely State of Decay 2 logo on it. It's really, really beautiful, and it's everyone's favorite color, black. Over here, we've got a classic, though. This is the Shark hoodie, which is one of the favorite outfits that was available in the original State of Decay. And here we've got this guy, what's his name? Got Krail here, modeling the Shark hoodie. And there was something special, but Ken, you were pointing out something special about this outfit.
Yeah, I made you change this guy into it just to share this fun tidbit. This is the first time we can prove definitively that your male-bodied survivors have shoulders in the game.
That is true. That actually took a lot of work to make them have shoulders for the very first time. So we got these little cut-off sleeves, which that are kind of revealing to these big muscular shoulders that this guy has. He's clearly been either working out or just fighting a lot of zombies. Mm-hmm. Of course, we got the cattleman hat, and then over here we've got another. We call this a combat tee. So we got a classic, our original State of Decay 1 merch T-shirt on top of combat pants, and then over here we've got a red Talon bomber jacket. So it's kind of got a navy blue sort of look to it. You got red Talon patches on it, and so all of these outfits are going to be available. Actually, one thing I didn't check, Brant, was how these things are going to be available. Are these all available for free? Or are these... Let's see here. Okay, so this is what you need to know. So the logo Ninja hoodie. This hoodie right here, this is actually... You have to log into the game sometime in the next, month and a half in order to get this one. Is that right, Brant?
Yeah, Ninja hoodie is logging into the game between tomorrow and June 28th.
Right, so this one is not going to be around forever. This is kind of like our that Halloween outfit that we did with the swine and bovine. This is a limited edition one that you can only get by logging into the game this next month.
So tell your friends.
Yeah, exactly. So this one's just free. This one's just waiting in your closet when you get here. We wanted to give this one to everybody, right?
That one's also, you need to log in though.
Well, I think the hat was the other one that you had to log in for.
Oh, sorry.
No, I've got this out of order because Ken wanted me to reorganize it. We've got it out of order.
I'm trying to keep up with all three chats and the notes and the stream. So
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
going to be behind here.
So this one's a free gift to everybody. This one, you got to log in soon to get it, but it has got the shiny. It is the shiniest hat in the entire world, so you got to do that. And then this one, the Combat Tee. This one, I think this one's also free to all players, right? And then it's this one that's at the Bounty Broker. So
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to head over to the Bounty Broker pretty soon because there's some other stuff at the Bounty Broker that we really want to show off. But those are the outfits. So
yeah. There's some amazing stuff coming in this that we haven't talked about yet. I can't wait.
And actually, I should run over to this character and take her over real quick so that we can show off some of the new weapons that are coming into the game. So, so Brant, so we did, so this is the anniversary update, and so you guys, when you were sort of deciding what weapons to add into this bounty pack, you kind of had, you know, a lot to draw from. Do you want to talk a little bit about sort of where your minds were as you're sort of going into, you know, figuring out what weapons to share? And I'll put some of the weapons on the screen while you're talking.
So I think the one she has is the Safari. Which is
that revolver over there.
Yeah, it's a revolver that we hadn't brought up to State of Decay 2 yet. I always wanted to because it's pretty unique in that it fires out of the bottom cylinder of the revolver instead of the typical top. So we got to play around with some differences between other like 357 Magnums and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun to bring it up. But that one was in the first game. Mainly we were looking, sorry, got something in my throat today. Mainly we were looking at stuff that people will remember. In the case of the F45 Tactical, which is a pistol that Geoffrey will show you in a little bit.
Yeah.
That was a very popular on the gun forum wish list. And then one of the most memorable firearms from State of Decay 1 was actually our
it's one of our challenges, right?
Yeah, the challenges. The Valentine's Day challenge. Preposterous, ridiculous gun, but it had to be done. The AKS 74U Valentine has been completely updated, rebuilt from scratch.
Oh yeah, it looks even more ridiculous than it did before.
Yep.
Let me get out with the light here.
The new custom stock that is a big heart.
That actually looks really uncomfortable to stick into your. Oh hi, my son's decided to join me. Hey Milo, I think you need to go talk to mommy real quick.
No,
hi Milo.
Scared of the vacuum.
Oh, he's really scared of the vacuum, so he's coming here to hide from the vacuum. I understand. Okay, well, you want to check out this gun? Okay, we got. Oh no, we're getting dragged away. Hey, so. So Brent, why don't I put the guns back up on the screen, and I'll go deal with the kid while you can continue talking to the audience. How does that sound?
All right. So what you'll see there on the right is the Valentine. The F45 is in the middle there, and then the revolver is sitting there too. You'll notice that we have a new heavy weapon, which is a throwback to the original State of Decay, the big ass wrench. Anybody who played SOD1 or Yo's will remember that as a weapon that you were introduced to early. We've got a brick hammer that Mark made recently that's new. And then there's a big, I think it's called the Beetle hammer, which is this big wooden mallet that'll knock people around. And then we have two returning weapons, bladed weapons from the first game. Those of you who have been calling for Gurubani, well, she sent her regards and her two favorite swords. One is a Talwar, the curved blade. The other is a Konda sword, which is just a mean old weapon. But
I am back, so I can actually show some of these weapons in action now.
Yeah, Mark built those and did a beautiful job as usual. And Dan Mode made the F45. He actually was ready to fight people to make sure that he got to do it because he likes those guns. So we all had a little bit of fun, and and love the new weapons, and I hope you guys do too.
Yeah, these swords are some of the most ornate things I have ever seen us do. I mean, maybe the Guandao from the previous update was really ornate too, but the detail work on these swords is just kind of ridiculous.
So I will say that Mark Lautenbach has taken over the construction of the melee weapons, and his skills like 15 times better than mine ever could be. So I will never do another melee weapon in this game because Mark is too talented at them.
So did you already mention? I assume you mentioned the big ass wrench, right? Which was one of my favorites from the Year One Survival Edition.
A fan favorite.
Oh, actually, we added that for Breakdown, didn't we? So that Eli would carry it around, right?
Was it Eli?
I think it was because he talked about how he was swinging a big ass wrench. That was in his dialogue, and so we pulled that out of his dialogue.
And that size of wrench actually exists. They like for big cranes and stuff. They actually turn giant nuts with that thing. It was, and in fact, they're even larger in real life. But yeah, that one worked out for us. So we're super happy that we could bring the big ass wrench back. Is celebrating the anniversary of the franchise and the release of State of Decay 2. We had to reach back in time. So
I just love one of my favorites is this beetle mallet. It's like I just can't even comprehend its ridiculous size attached to her backpack like this. Oh, anyway, so yeah, there's some really amazing guns. Thank you for taking over, Brant, and walking people through the guns here and the melee weapons. So let's see. So, and one thing you'll notice, actually, once you go to the bounty broker is, and we've been warning you about this for a while, is that one of our bounty packs has retired. Is that? Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Brant?
Yeah, I mean, and just to be clear, when we say retire, it's not forever. They're going to go into a rotation as we add more bounty packs. We can't fit them all in our UI, and so we decided to start rotating them. And so retire is not, it's temporary retirement. They're going on vacation, really.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, let's see here. Oh, this is the character who had the lowest shooting skill. So there's going to come back eventually. And eventually, one thing I love about the Year One Survival Edition right now is people who buy it today, which, State of Decay 1 is a 7-year-old game at this point, practically. But if you buy it today, there is still a rotating set of challenges you can use to unlock, special content in that game. And we would love to get to the point where we've got a full year's worth of rotating content that we can put into this game so that anyone who joins this game, even years from now, can still have this sort of, a bunch of new challenges coming at them every single month to enjoy. So this brings us past the bounty content into the gameplay improvements. So I think we're going to see a lot more Ken right now because Ken's job is going to be reading a lot of these patch notes to you folks.
Sure, we can start with that one I think you just hinted at a minute ago.
Yeah, let me grab something out of her inventory here while you tell people what it is.
Number one with a bullet, so to speak. Shooting skill will now award you improvements to your reload speed.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so the way that to explain this, basically, when you have the shooting skill, you can upgrade it and upgrade it and upgrade it until it gets to 7 stars. And in the current game that's out there in the wild, that gives you no improvements to your reloading speed. You only start getting improvements to your reloading speed if you specialize as a gunslinger, and then it can get really, really good. But what you have is people who seemed like they were specialists in other kinds of shooting. Sharpshooters, weapon handling experts, assault experts were all garbage at reloading their guns. And so this is this is what it looks like for somebody who has 0 shooting skill reloading a gun with a big old drum magazine. She fumbles it 4 times before she can get it into the slot. That's kind of ridiculous, right? No, if I were trying to reload a drum magazine into a firearm because I am not an experienced shooter, that is about how long it would take me. I would, if not longer. It would be kind of ridiculous. So this represents somebody who really just doesn't know how to shoot. But once
I really take you shooting, Geoffrey.
Yeah, no, we've done that once or twice. We need to actually do it more often. But let me grab somebody like, say, Stokes here. So Stokes, she is a specialist in assault, which normally would mean she would reload just as badly as her friend. She would be just as bad. It would take her 4 fumbles. But let's reload. 2 fumbles! It took her like half as many fumbles to get that thing in there. And so now your characters who have other specializations are actually going to be okay at reloading guns. Now, this particular gun has a very long reload time. If she had been trying to reload like a standard AK-47 just right off the factory line, she actually would have done it with no fumbling at all. It's because this gun is a good example because it's got this fancy drum magazine that takes ages to get in there, the way that our game works. That's why it still took her a couple of fumbles. But just for a point of comparison, let's grab somebody. I think Sylvia has actually got the gunslinging skill, so you can see. So this is how good it can get. So she's got the same gun waiting in her inventory. Basically, everybody in my community here has got the Valentine because the Valentine is the best gun ever made. Okay, so she reloads. So you still have a massive, massive benefit for getting the gunslinging skill when it comes to reload speed, but everybody else isn't garbage anymore. So,
Yep.
So thanks for letting me take over there, that one, kid, because I was really excited about that one because that was one that I actually spent some time working out the exact right timings and how we wanted it to work, and I felt pretty good about that one.
Well, and yeah. I'm glad that you used the Valentine because the Valentine is also a special shout out to valued members of our community. So
cool. So Ken, if you want to move on.
Yeah. So let's we'll move on to the other things you were playing with earlier, some of the heavy weapons now. So we had a last patch had a bunch of changes to Juggernaut fighting, particularly with guns. And now we got a lot of melee changes to it, including having your heavy weapons be hit a lot harder. So now they hit kind of as hard as they seem like they should hit. They'll help you stagger a Juggernaut a lot faster than anything else. We've got a bunch of other little improvements to fighting Juggernauts also. If you hit them in the back, get a little damage boost. A little damage boost when you hit them while they're staggered. And what else we got here? Yeah, I got a very, very special note here. Weapon impact makes a difference. Don't try stabbing a Juggernaut to death with a screwdriver unless you're looking for a bad time, which I think is probably accurate.
So I hid the gameplay real quick so that I could use our cheat menu to make a Juggernaut appear. And that, oh my gosh, that has happened. Okay, so there's a Juggernaut here, and I've got heavy weapons. Oh, but I'm bad at doing this. Luckily, I've got my followers. Oh, I've got my followers in the background helping me out, which is nice. Yeah, no, get away from me, big old nasty Juggernaut. So look at that. Normally, look how quickly we're staggering this guy. Now, part of it is all of those gunshots that are hitting him from my community back there. My community is very, very helpful right now. We're going to talk more about that later. But look how quickly we can take that guy down between the guns and the and that beetle mallet.
That's a big hammer.
That is a really big hammer, and you can really feel the difference when fighting these guys.
Yeah, so hopefully melee attacks on Juggernauts now a little more viable.
So for the next one, I think I'm going to start driving towards the bounty broker because I think the next one on the list is about cars.
Yeah, we doubled the speed. It seems like on using your gas cans and your toolkits.
We added 50% to it. I think was
50% faster. Okay, so
yeah, there we go.
Quartered the speed, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
50% faster, not 50% as much time.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of hard because I think that we actually do. I was trying to debate about how to express that because the number I actually change, the number I actually tune, is the time that it takes. But usually people want to talk about it being faster or slower, which is different numbers, and it's awkward.
No, you definitely wrote it correctly here. I just read it wrong. I did some of my own math incorrectly. Programmers are bad at math, it turns out.
Yeah, I expect Fall Down Go Boom speed runs to cut lots of time off now that he doesn't have to spend so much time refueling.
So yeah, so it should now take about like 2/3 the time to reload them. And basically the idea was originally, and this is to damage the car so that we can practice repairing it. The reason why it takes a bunch of time to refuel a car or repair a car is partly because, in real life it takes a long time, and it would feel weird if you could just instantly do it. But also, we wanted it to be something you couldn't just do right in the middle of combat. Like, if you're in the middle of combat, we wanted you to be able to, your car gets messed up, and you can't fix it right now until you resolve the combat around you. But we realized that, you know what? the speed it's going right now in the version of the game that's in the wild, it's so slow that it goes beyond the mark. We don't actually need it to be that slow to make it difficult to do in combat. And so we took another look at it and tried some different tunings on it and found one that felt like it was kind of a nice balance between still being slow enough that you needed to pay attention, that you needed to be careful, but it was fast enough that you weren't going to claw your eyes out afterwards.
Yeah, you're still gonna have a hard time trying to do this in the middle of a fight if that's your plan.
There you go.
All right, let's see if I can ramp off this guy.
No.
No! Oh! It didn't go that well. Okay. So, we're going to do things just slightly out of order from the patch notes because this trip had a dual purpose. So first off, let's... if these zombies are going to come after me, we should do something about that. Ah! What the... Where'd you all come from? Okay, anyway.
Will it help your cash? Nothing?
Nothing.
No?
Yeah, this guy's like, whatever, I'm too important for this. So this is the speed now that you repair a car. It's still slow. You still can't do it right in the middle of combat. I had to take those zombies out, but it is way faster than it was before. And similarly, refueling takes the same amount of time. Just relax for just a second, and you can deal with it. It's okay. But we skipped a couple of things that were part of the anniversary pack. So since we're here, let's talk about a couple of those. So we already talked about the fact that you can unlock the bomber jacket. Brant already talked us through all of these weapons. But there's a couple of more things here. One of them is the anniversary cake oven. We're going to have to go back to our base to check out what this does. But we've got a special facility mod that I've already installed in the base back home that lets you make a new consumable item that we're going to go have some fun with in a minute. But the one I really wanted to show you right here is this truck. Now, a bunch of you who were very eagle-eyed during one of our previous streams saw that we had this black truck parked out front. That was actually an incomplete prototype truck. It was not finished yet. We had it in there by accident because we set it up so that all of our new test communities got it so we could test the truck out. That truck was actually meant for this update. So I'm going to buy this truck from the bounty broker. And, oh wait, there's no truck here. That's right, we didn't just drop the truck on your head because then you'd have to abandon the car that you brought with you to the bounty broker. We know a lot of people, really kind of didn't like the idea of having to sort of walk somewhere in order to get a vehicle they wanted to get. So instead of that, we've sent it back to the base. So you see right here, yeah.
Just as a funny aside, for a while we didn't know where we were sending it, and so it would spawn on top of...
Oh, on top of the van? Yeah.
On top of the van.
Yeah, we got some great videos of bugs of just the car just landing right on top of that van. But no, now it actually goes back to your base. And actually, one of the bullet points way down the list, near the bottom, is the fact that now when you deliver a car via the radio or via the bounty broker, it's got its own special icon now on the map. It looks all cute. So anyway, I'm going to start heading back while we move on to the next gameplay bullet point. Yeah, if I can remember how to get back.
Well, you can't take that ramp back up, I don't think.
Yeah, that's true.
You're gonna have to find a different way.
Actually, we
got a couple little bug fixes here. We have there's some locking issues before. If you were kind of rapidly opening the supply locker, you used to kind of get stuck.
Oh yeah, that's right. People would look like they're kind of stuck in like a falling animation.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one is gone.
That one's gone. That could occasionally happen in a couple other places too. That should be good now. I can't remember if there were interaction fixes last update or not, but there's some more updates to interaction now.
Yes.
So there were some last time?
Yeah, there were some last time. We basically made it so that in one context, finishing a zombie would win out, but now we've extended it.
Yes, yeah. So you should pretty much always get the option to finish a zombie if there's one ready for it in front of you. That should take priority over a lot of stuff. And then we fixed something that I've been wanting to fix since the last time I was on the stream back in October. The last few outfits. As you find outfits, sometimes it took a long time to find the last one or two in your collection. That should be fixed now. You should be able to pick up, to complete your catch 'em all in a relatively sane amount of time.
Yeah, we had a lot of folks, like some of our favorite streamers, like Fallout Girl, for instance, trying to complete the full range of outfits, and they would get down to the last 2 or 3, and just basically the way that the random math worked, it was preventing it. Do you want to talk a little bit about what was kind of going on under the surface there?
Yeah, so we have, when you're pulling loot out of a container, we have it kind of randomly roll between some tables of like, hey, I'm gonna get you something out of this one set of items or something out of a different set of items. And it's always been that if you have one set of outfits in a table somewhere, you'll always get the last one. You always get unlocked ones from in there. But we never had it so that if you unlocked an entire table, occasionally that table would still come back up, which means that we didn't have anything to give you, and we just gave you a bandage or something. So that should be fixed now. You should no longer have that issue.
Yeah.
Should finally, next time, if you only have one outfit left and you're looting the right type of containers, the next time we decide to give you an outfit, you should get the last one you need.
Cool. Instead of the game sort of fruitlessly trying to give you stuff from lists that you've already completed.
Yep. Until you're waiting until the randoms happened all at once.
So this is the new truck that we've got to celebrate the anniversary. This has just arrived beautifully at our base. It's got a lovely little icon on it telling us which one it is. And we can hop in there and we can drive this guy around, which we will do in a minute. But since I've gotten back to base, maybe we should actually go show off the anniversary cake.
Let's look at some cake.
So you'll notice over here in my workshop, I have got this new facility mod. It's Futter's Cake-A-Bake. It is a child's toy oven that can be used to make a very, very special confection. Let's go over here. So, okay, we got this thing called Bake Anniversary Cake. It costs, I've got a pathology expert, so it costs me 1 plague sample. Usually it costs you 3 plague samples. And it also costs you fuel and ammo and food in order to make this thing. So I'm going to make a handful of these. And we're going to take them out on the road. So actually, you know what? I'm going to go try to create the right circumstances for using this cake. I'll go get in the truck. And while I'm doing that, why don't we move on to some more of the patch notes here? You know what? We've got kind of the big one for Ken. We've got follower AI.
Yeah, so this is the one I've spent most of my time working on. Trying to make them a little more useful in general. Not a lot of people tend to take them. Sometimes they're more trouble than they're worth. So we've got a bunch of updates in this one, most notably around combat. So a lot of the updates in this patch are focused on range combat in particular. So your followers will now use guns a little more readily, and not just previously they used to really kind of only shoot when you were shooting. Just if you ran out of ammo, suddenly they're not going to shoot. If you didn't happen to bring your own ranged weapon, they're also not going to shoot. So now they should kind of judge the situation and kind of engage with a ranged weapon a little more thoughtfully.
And you know what I just realized? Since we're going to go and make a big fight with zombies, I should bring
you
a
wanna take
follower
somebody?
with me. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back and get somebody.
And yeah, speaking of, they will also prioritize getting into the car when it is time to get into the car. Some of them were really zealous with their zombie killing tendencies. If you are trying to get into a car and bail out of a place, hopefully they will not stay behind stabbing zombies for too long. So they should get out of there with you. Hopefully you won't leave as many people behind.
Her hat really matches the car really nicely. It's kind of cool.
It's nice.
Okay, so I'm gonna
we also have...
Yeah, go ahead.
We got zombies near the base. We used to kind of gravitate to walking into your base and starting a bunch of nonsense. They should do that. They should do that less now. They shouldn't do that at all, I think. Yeah. And then we also have zombies with helmets on. It was kind of annoying if you were to knock the helmet off of one of them, and it would cause a lot of noise. So we made that cause no noise. That should alert nobody now.
Okay, so I'm really quickly going to hide the gameplay and just have a giant Ken blocking everyone's views.
No, that's too much. It's too much, Ken.
I've got to add a whole bunch of zombies. I'm just going to spawn a zillion zombies on this screen. And
that won't end poorly at all.
Quickly switch back to gameplay. Okay, so first off, you'll notice...
Oh my god, Geoffrey.
My friend is actually fighting. Look at her. Look at her. Oh, she's so effective with that gun. It's great. But I think.
Here's the cake.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Oh, the cake's going off. She's still serious though. She's still engaged.
Still very serious.
So the cake is. It's a noisemaker. It'll attract all these zombies. They'll gather around it. And then it just showers them with flaming dough. Just flaming dough everywhere. I think that dough might have napalm in it. I'm not sure.
That probably doesn't taste particularly good.
Yeah, I think yeah, they might need to put some warnings on the cake that is not for eating. But then check her out.
Yeah.
She's doing the cleanup here pretty much by herself.
Yeah, there's enough zombie trouble around that decided a ranged weapon is worth it.
Yeah, so now basically she's not just completely dependent on what I do now to decide whether she's using her ranged weapons. Like if she detects that there's enough zombies around that there's kind of no point in stealth anymore, she'll just open up with that gun.
Yep.
So I'm going to keep her with me while we keep running around and playing the game, so we can sort of continue to see her usefulness in action. But do we want to move on to some of the other stuff that's on the patch notes list?
Yeah. Yeah, let's move on to, we got a couple updates to morale. So a couple times a day, you mentioned some positive bonuses to morale now. So a couple times a day, characters with stable or higher morale will have a chance of finding some extra resources.
Yep.
And characters with cheerful or higher will give you some community-wide buffs. So maybe increased morale on top of that, or some other good stuff.
Yeah, so we had Devin, one of our content designers. He put a lot of effort into sort of like coming up with ways because we've got this system that was pretty good at making bad things happen when your morale was low, but it really didn't have an upside. There wasn't really anything going on to make things better when your morale was good. And so now it should be a lot more balanced, where if you're actually good at keeping your morale high, you get some of the positives from that, not just the negatives from having it be low. Oh crap! Come here, quick! Get in the car! Oh, I'm driving
It's
away.
time to go.
Yeah, get in the car.
Being stuck on a zombie now.
So I did happen to do that right when she was in the middle of getting rassled by a zombie, which was kind of the worst time to try that out.
Tricky.
But at the same time, she actually got in the car, which usually you get these overzealous followers, right? Who just all they want to do is just keep fighting zombies forever.
It's a little harder if you're trying to leave one behind now. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to find a different tactic for that one.
Yeah, exactly. So we got a few different infestations I can go and try to deal with while we're talking through this stuff. And so,
yeah, we can.
Yeah, I was gonna say so. Devin was not the only content designer who was sort of working on our missions and our events and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of other updates to missions. In terms of like tuning when we give them to you, that we're still working on, but we have a handful in this one. We've kind of reduced the number of similar missions, so you won't have your typical mission list will be a little bit smaller. You won't have too many repeat tasks and that kind of thing. We're trying to also be a little smarter about when we give you missions where. So if you're at home, odds are you're going to get some more missions that require you to be home, and if you're out and about, some more ambient missions from out there. So hopefully fewer times you're going to be out and have someone tell you to come talk to them back at the base right away.
Yeah, exactly. And so the whole idea is overall we know that a lot of people were feeling like missions, basically they always just had such a full task list from their missions that they couldn't really, they felt like they could just never get anything done. They felt like they were just being overwhelmed by requests from people. And so our goal was to basically make it so that you don't feel overwhelmed anymore. That you still always have something to do. Like you see here, my it's the map. On my mission list here, I've got a couple of missions. If I wanted a mission, I can definitely do something. But you'll notice that I only have two. I've got one from an outside enclave, and I've got one from my community. And if I went home, maybe I would get one personal one or something like that. And if I get far away from the base, I might start getting maybe one ambient mission trying to get my attention, one survivor in need. But that's it. Instead of sort of filling up every category until it's just endlessly, we kind of keep it a little bit tighter.
Yeah, trying to keep you relatively even with your workload. We fixed a couple issues with kind of a bug with when you skip the tutorial on Dread Zone, we didn't have the play cart show up. That should be fixed now. Mm. And then also the bounty broker's mission should show up kind of in the right area now, as opposed to coming in real early in the game and telling you to drive all the way across the map when you haven't found a car yet. So that should be better.
Yeah, that's mostly for brand new players, people who who don't know what the bounty broker is or why they should go there, and suddenly they're being told to go all the way across the map, and they don't realize how optional missions are in our game, and so they could really get confused. And so now it basically waits until they get close to the bounty broker before introducing them to the bounty broker.
Yeah. Hey guys, we've got a bunch of questions that I haven't been keeping up with, but some of them. Does the heavy weapon do more damage against plague hearts?
I believe so. I think that we did some retuning to the heavy weapons in general. Last update that did make them do more to the Juggernaut than they did when they were first released. So a lot of them gained increases in impact and stuff like that, which made a big difference. But this time around, the new tuning changes were mostly focused on the Juggernaut himself, how he responds to getting hit by these weapons. So I think you shouldn't see it as of this update. You shouldn't see huge changes to the experience with heavy weapons and Juggernauts. I mean, and plague hearts. You should see it with Juggernauts.
Does the reload speed changes affect crossbows?
It should affect any weapon, any weapon that has a reload time. So now with crossbow, so like the repeating crossbow, where you actually have a reload animation. That puts an entirely new magazine of crossbow bolts into it. That one should definitely be affected by this. I think the ones where you're actually just reloading a single shot every single time, I'm not sure if that animation is actually scaled the same way. So you might not be able to. I genuinely am not sure one way or the other, so I hesitate to promise that it's improved. My gut says it probably hasn't.
And then a question that's been coming in from everywhere is the new truck upgradable to an Apocalypse version?
So this truck is the same type of truck as the Burninator. So it is not the same class of pickup truck as all the other pickup trucks in the game. And I am not dead certain one way or the other whether or not this truck can be upgraded. My gut says no, but I could easily be proven wrong. I don't know if somebody wants to quickly send Brian Giammi a message in Slack and ask him the answer to that question. But my gut says probably not, but I could easily be surprised. But this truck is so beautiful. One thing, if you did upgrade it, you would lose this beautiful paint job and a lot of stuff that makes it unique. So I would recommend, if you want to upgrade a vehicle, to use one of the classic. I mean, every map has got a ton of classic pickup trucks on it. Upgrade one of those pickup trucks and keep this really pretty one unupgraded as a collector's item. And it is tuned differently from the other truck. It actually is it's quicker. It's got a lot of torque. It's got a different capacity in the back too. It carries less stuff, but it's more nimble.
You'll notice that it has independent suspension too.
Oh yeah, so this is the truck you want to take off-roading in Drucker, but this isn't necessarily. It's not just the same as all of your classic trucks. Any other questions, Brant?
Let me get back to it. I am overwhelmed here. Is all vehicles spawning at the base or just for that truck, Val?
Yeah, just that truck. So that truck is the only vehicle that you can get via the bounty broker, and so bounty broker vehicles are going to show up at your base. But that's that truck is the only example of that we have so far. I'm gonna beat the heck out of this plague heart while the cake outside attracts all the zombies that show up. Oh, get out of the way! I tried to dodge out of the way. I was too slow.
All right, sorry, Ken. Go ahead and pick back up.
No problem. Let's see where we had. We had a handful more bug fixes. Oh, this one's good. Enclaves will now generally accept rucksacks of mystery meat to satisfy requests for food. And very extra note here: the game will not recognize that this makes you a terrible person.
Yeah. So we actually had a lot of complaints from players who were like, I get all this mystery meat from the Cannibals Enclave, and I can't give it to people, unbeknownst to them, that they're eating humans. And that was frustrating for some of our players. And those players are bad people. But, we welcome all types into our audience, and so, we decided to make that possible. So it actually took a lot of work. Like, Leah had to basically, who was, by the way, who is the mission designer, who a lot of you have seen her on the stream, and she's really cool. She's the mission designer who went through and did a lot of the changes to the mission pacing. She also went through tons of missions and made it so that that they could accept mystery meat as the reward for food. So that was actually a lot of work for a very small effect, but we hope you people enjoy it. You terrible psychopaths.
Yeah, now you are enabled in your horrible ways. We have a few more bug fixes in some Warlord quests. So Warlord to stop a thief and Warlord might makes right. There's a couple situations where those were getting hung up before. We've fixed those. And Builder useful utilities will recognize the power and water from the fire station, so you don't need to. It used to ask you to double up on your utilities. It should not do that anymore.
Cool.
And we got some user interface bugs also. We were previously, it was possible for us to remove the wrong plague heart from the map, which kind of made it seem eventually like you had cleared everything, but you hadn't. So that should also be fixed now.
Yeah, I actually had a friend who, like right after the last update, I had a friend pick up State of Decay 2 for the first time, and he was playing it, and he was sending me like constant Facebook updates about how much he was enjoying it. And but then he hit a point where he thought he had killed all the plague hearts. The map said he had killed all the plague hearts, and he had not killed all the plague hearts, and it was getting really frustrating. And so I was able to send him a message saying, "Hey, in the next update, that's going to be fixed."
Yeah, hopefully we're good there.
Geoffrey, if we still have time, there's a request for you to play as the Shark Hoodie guy.
Oh, yeah, let's totally do that. I'll switch to him as soon as we get back to base.
And we got a few more, while you're getting back to base, a few more UI updates. We got new icons. Everyone already saw the kind of vehicle drop icon. Mm-hmm. We got some better icons for location, like move to this location mission objectives.
I wonder if I have any of those available right now. Let's see. So, like, the trader... no, that's the doctors. Oh yeah, so okay, no, that's saying talk to a person. And what about the laundry trader? That's talk to. Okay, I can't show you right now, but I promise the icon is easier to read.
But nicer. The consumables tab in the supply locker also has a more unique icon now that should hopefully.
That's actually why I came home, so I could show that off. So yeah, so it used to be like a wrench and a crowbar, or no, it's like a hammer and a wrench or something like that. Now it's a pill bottle and a grenade. So people who are new to the game, who maybe don't quite know where to find stuff in the supply locker, now this is going to be clearer for them. But that wrench and hammer icon that we were using in there, we were also doubling up on the workshop, and so we also had to change the workshop icon. So now it's this like lovely little wrench thing that it wasn't before.
Yeah.
So little subtle things, but it makes a difference, especially if you're brand new to a game and you're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, we're also keeping icons on the map for vehicle deliveries from the radio commands until you get near them, also, just to get so you don't wind up losing them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hey, mind coming over to talk? Okay, so now I am Shark Hoodie guy, and I've got a big ass wrench. We're gonna go get into some trouble with this guy. Okay. And then I think we only just have like a couple of tiny little bugs left on the list.
Yeah, we had a few difficulty fixes here. Returning from multiplayer, sometimes players would lose difficulty menus. That should be good. And then under rare circumstances, the map and difficulty selection interface would get stuck on screen. That should also be fixed. And then a handful of minor like environment tweaks and fixes all over the place. Hopefully you get stuck a little less. Any little weird artifacts floating around. Hopefully those are gone now. We continue to work on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. So yeah. Brant and the other artists are just constantly making very small changes to maps and things like that to try to fix little issues that people run across. And and so it just results in the maps just steadily over time getting a little bit better each month, which is really nice. So that's the list of patch notes, right? We kind of hit everything.
Yeah, I think that's all of it.
We have some other announcements that we need to make.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Geoffrey, did you talk about the sale that we're?
I did not. Yeah. So okay. So basically, we've got this update launching very, very soon. We haven't told you exactly what date and time, but you should expect to see it show up as just any time now. So it is very, very soon. So to celebrate that, we're also going to be putting the game on sale on Steam and on Epic specifically. We're going to be 15% off from May 19th until May 26th. So that's from tomorrow until for about a week. So we'll have it on sale for weeks. So we hope maybe we'll pick up some new players, and a lot of these tweaks and changes that we made to the game will be able to benefit them, and they'll be able to get into it and keep growing our community. We're also going to be off for Memorial Day, so this stream is not happening next week. We're doing it today, and we're doing it 2 weeks from now on June 1st, but we're going to be skipping whatever day is in between that. The 25th, we're skipping the 25th. So, mark your calendars, whatever. Go do something else during that time. Take a walk, distance yourself from someone socially, whatever it is you're doing these days. And also, Megan wanted us to mention that, we are not done with contests. So we did the Gnome contest. We just announced the winners for this time. We just finished a contest for people to make remote meeting backgrounds that were based on State of Decay 2. We had some really, really good submissions. We could only pick 3 winners, and so we've got 3 winners, and Megan is going to be contacting them really soon. So we don't have them to announce yet, but the next stream we do in 2 weeks, we're going to show their work. Now that I've got this green screen behind me, I can actually test them out here on the air and show you what they look like with somebody superimposed in front of them. And then we're gonna do a brand new contest. And so now I'm gonna think what was. Oh yeah, so we've got a contest that's gonna be about using the cape. So once you get the update, go and grab that cape, and you basically we're gonna be posting on social media what the rules of the contest are. But it's basically about trying to get the fanciest birthday celebration you can. So keep an eye on our social feeds. If you're watching this on YouTube later, down in the doobly-doo, we're going to show you. You can find our Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all the other accounts where you can follow us. Information for the contest is going to be there, so definitely keep an eye out for that. We want to see the birthday parties that you folks throw for State of Decay 2. And I think that might actually be everything on our agenda. Brant, is there any new questions coming up in Slack that we should make sure we catch?
We confirmed that there is no upgrade for the Trumbull 4x4.
Okay, cool. So this truck is pretty unique. You can't upgrade it like the regular trucks, but because it's so unique, go find a different truck if you want to upgrade a truck, and then keep this one because it's special. I mean, it's really good at sort of climbing hills, off-roading. It's a lighter truck than the other truck, which is kind of big, heavy and slow and ponderous. So this is a quicker truck, and so it's got its own role to play in the game. And is there anything else going on? You guys just want to sort of tool around and chat?
Yeah, I got one more. I think it wasn't on here. As part of the AI stuff, your watchtowers should be more useful now.
Oh, that's true.
Guards and watchtowers should be way more aggressive than they used to be. And
unfortunately, because I'm not... I decided to set up at the Firewatch base because it was nice and small and simple. That's probably the worst place for me to try to show a watchtower working. So we can't demonstrate that very easily on the stream right now. But yeah, your watchtower folks, they should be better.
Yeah,
and
actually, my word for that one.
And I think that, honestly, we might have shipped that with update 16. Did you do that long enough ago?
It might have. I couldn't remember.
I think
it might have,
right.
though.
The one thing that actually didn't make the patch notes that sort of did sneak into the game is off-roading is a little bit different now. We've been sort of pondering, sort of the driving experience and thinking about making some changes there, some improvements and some tuning. And we don't have anything specific to announce right now, but one thing that did kind of sneak in was we made some changes to the friction on the ground. So I believe that driving on pavement should feel the same way it always has. But if you drive off-road into the mud, it's just a little slicker now. And it's easier to do things like, whip your tail around in the car. And we're going to continue working on a lot of these topics. I mean, when we cut this update to put out, this month, Ken was only partway into his work on follower AI. And so you should expect there's going to be more work on that in the future. Similarly, the work on the vehicles has only just barely started, and there's other updates you should expect in the future to all that stuff. But we'll get into the details of that when we're actually ready to ship it, which should be in some future streams. So definitely, if you're into this stuff, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, follow us on Mixer. Keep up with this stuff because we do this stream almost every single week. And we do our best to try to keep you all updated on what it is we're working on.
Okay, so I do have the background contest winners that I can name. We just don't have their stuff to show yet.
Okay, yeah, I want to name them. Go ahead.
So congratulations go to Oddly Lemony, Big Lou, and Junie. And we'll be showcasing your work in our next stream. But
which is 2 weeks from now. But yeah.
Thanks to everyone who sent in submissions. It was a tough vote, but we got a lot of people in the company to vote, and your guys were the top vote getters. So thank you.
We got lots and lots of laughter emojis for a lot of the ones that people are doing. People had some crazy ideas for what they wanted to put behind themselves. Yeah, use this giant wrench with Shark Hoodie guy. So I've just run myself out of gas, and unfortunately, I did not bring myself. I didn't bring myself a gas can, so we're just going to be running. But that's fine, because a lot of my best memories of Shark Hoodie guy were just running around in Breakdown. Not having any vehicles, just trying to survive.
So you just spent some time telling people to take care of that truck,
and I'm just abandoning it,
and then you leave it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't do as we do. Do as we say.
Well, one thing I could do is I could just move. Just switch away real quick, and now just open up our uber secret cheat menu.
Oh, cheating again.
I'm gonna give myself consumables cheats, give myself a gas can, couple of gas cans. Okay, now we're back to normal, and we're gonna run back. We're gonna fuel up the car, and we're gonna celebrate how quickly I can refuel this car. It's gonna be great. Oh, come on. Oh, you can do it. You can get there, Shark Hoodie guy. You can make it. You're everyone's favorite.
Lunch.
You're a hero. You can do it. All right, so refuel. Oh, look how quickly those little pips are lighting up. Oh, and look how helpful my follower is. Keeping that zombie off me.
Chad is really coming down on you for being a dirty cheater.
Yeah, that's right. Well, because what everyone wants to do is just watch me limp to the gas station with Shark Hoodie guy at the very end of the stream. Boom! Yes! Yes, that is how you... That is how you go down this hill in Providence Ridge. Absolutely.
Perfect. Nailed it.
Meant to.
So yeah, actually, if we've got a couple of seconds, we've got like 4 minutes. One thing I could do is just go back to the bounty broker and just highlight every single bounty for people who are curious. They can freeze frame the stream and look at what all the bounties are. I wonder if I can get there fast enough. This is a really quick, nimble little truck, so I think I could probably... Can I make it as the crow flies?
That's what it was meant to do.
Yep, it's supposed to go over these hills. Woohoo! Yes! Here we go. Yeah, this truck is like... It kind of splits the difference between the pickup truck and the Jeep. Because normally a Jeep is what you would want to take this trip with. But
I barely want to drive anything else at this point.
Yeah,
really good.
When we were sharing this around the office, the reason why it was showing up in our communities by accident when we were streaming the game was because we were doing company playtests. We were getting everybody to try out this truck and give us feedback, and it just became everyone's favorite vehicle really fast. It feels really good to drive. So since I've got some decent follower AI, she's just going to take care of that zombie for me while I talk to Cash Beaumont. You are really going to want to bring people with you way more often now. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So to get the bomber jacket... oh, wait a minute. Oh, crap, because I unlocked the ball. You can't see the bounties anymore. No, I ruined everything. That's right. I couldn't have used these weapons unless I had unlocked the bounties. So my plan is foiled, but at least we got to see me driving some off-road, right? That was pretty good. So yeah. So just real quick to kind of sort of go back over the list. You've got a bounty pack full of new outfits and toys, including a vehicle and a cake that explodes, faster reloads, refuels, repairs, more Juggernaut combat improvements, improvements to follower AI in combat. We've got these beneficial morale events, which were a little bit harder to highlight on the stream, but you can keep your eye out for them and see that they're happening. And then less stressful mission pacing, because, again, we've been running around ignoring missions for a little while here, but just check out my map. I've got, one wandering trader. The doctor still wants something. We've got a friend in need, which is one of the trader missions. And that's it. I'm not, they're not hounding me right now. They're not just beating down my door. And if I spend enough time out here away from the base, I'll probably get a, one of those survivor in need missions. And actually, one thing I noticed when I was playtesting this was that I found it really often as I was going out there to follow up on my big like enclave missions, trying to earn alliances and stuff like that. I would really often found that I had also a survivor in need mission really close to them, which meant that I could sort of kill two birds with one stone and it would, and be really efficient with my time. So I feel like the mission system is just more efficient with your time now. It's kind of a little kinder and gentler, but in a subtle way. It's not like we changed the UI or something like that. It's just, the random numbers in the background are just working a little bit differently. Well, we are pretty much right at the end, so why don't we quickly, say goodbye to Ken George? Thank you so much for reading the patch notes and giving us sort of a tour of the changes that have been making.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
And then, Brant, you want to say goodbye to the audience too?
Goodbye, everybody. You know what I'm going to say. Love you. Thanks for supporting us for so long. And make some cake to celebrate the anniversary.
You know what I just remembered? We've got one last treat for the audience as we're going as we're getting out of here. So I'm just going to switch to that. It's a trailer. Shh. And with that, we'll see you later. And remember, we're going to be on sale on Steam and Epic this week, so check that out. And we're not doing a stream next week, so we'll see you on June 1st. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
And now we got 20 seconds of this.
It's always so awkward.
I know, I love it. It's the best. Awkwardness is my superpower.